Morning, everybody. 8:10 a.m. Welcome to my channel. Hope everybody had a nice extended weekend due to President's Day. Market was closed yesterday. Market's pulling back this morning. Not really seeing too many reasons why, but it is. Lots of news this morning as well. Um, Not the hugest. Well, we do have Nvidia earnings this week. We do have FOMC minutes and Fed speak, but I guess Nvidia earnings is the big thing. Nvidia just recently took over Tesla as the most traded stock, so that's what's been going on. Um, and we'll get into it today. And without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steven Gonzalez. Use volume profile, market profile to find structure in the market, along with supply and demand, gamma exposure levels, anchor VWAPs, and the most traded price of the month, the year, the rolling month, the rolling week, and the preceding day. All helps me find structure in the market. You want to be with strength. You don't want to be with weakness. That helps me quickly see that, and we'll go over that in a little bit. So that's why I use it. All right. Basically, I like to see things all line up, confluence, and then that's my confirmation, or it gives me conviction if I put a trade on. All right. The more people that use different things and they all align, that usually helps the trade. Okay. Let's get right into the futures watch list. And let's see what is going on here. We have Ether up 5.29%. VIX is up 2.79%. Bitcoin up 0.78. Gold up 0.74. Holding on to that 2K. 30-year bonds basically flat. 10-year yield reports at 820. The TNX. So that should be probably flat, but that 10-year yield's getting mighty high, almost at 4.3. So dollar is down this morning. ES is down 0.30 as I'm speaking. Dow's down 0.31. Nasdaq's down 0.37. Russell is down 0.71. Crude down 1% to 77.64 a barrel. Okay, it's down 81 cents. Silver, the volatile metal, down 1.45%. That's what's going on in futures. Okay, let's go over to the Mag 7 Plus. There is not a leader there today. That's a little different from what we normally see. Okay, nothing is really up pre-market. Okay, you got a flat Microsoft, a flat JP Morgan. All right, and then we'll go down to the one percenters. Nvidia is down 1.99%. The only thing I did see is Bank of America said, let me see if it says it here. I know they got a price target raise, but if I go to it later, Bank of America said something like Nvidia doesn't matter what earnings do, should pull back or something like that. Not sure if that affected it. Roblox down 1.12%. Tesla got downgraded. That is down 1.38%. AMD is down 1.48%. So semis are getting hit this morning. I'm not really sure entirely why. I saw ASML got an upgrade, but it only got an upgrade from a sell to neutral. So that's not really going to take down. But that, even though it got an upgrade, it's down. So semis are just down. I don't fully have my finger on the pulse of why. Okay, let's move on. Top sector stocks. All right, Walmart. Walmart is purchasing Vizio, and they said their sales are going to go up in 2025, something like that. So they're up almost 3%, and they're getting ready to do a split, a 3-to-1 split. I'm happy with it. I'm a proud owner of Walmart, so I'm happy with this. That does not make me upset. So Eli Lilly just keeps on trucking. It's trucking towards $800 a share. It was at 5 something when I was interested in the trade before the new year. 560, I think I was looking at it, and I was just like, and this thing just keeps trucking. Costco, same thing. The thing just never goes down, right? All right. So as far as the negative side, now interesting. Cat had a downgrade and was down pretty big earlier, and it's kind of paired those losses. Okay. Um, let's see here. Disney got a price target raised, but it's negative. Semis, Qualcomm, that's negative. Visa, not sure why that's down 1.69. Okay. Um, Home Depot had a decline. Their earnings not good. They're down 2%. Okay, that's going to affect consumer discretionary sector. Okay, that's what's going on there. Now, if we look at my swing trade list, right, it's a more expansive list. Let's go to here and let's see what's going on with those. All right, there is definitely something wrong with Thinkorswim's ARM. It is not up 142%. It's actually down. So there's something weird going on with how they track ARM. I don't know why that. Actually, it says it's up 14%. What the? Oh, did they just fix it in front of my face? I. That's crazy. They literally just fixed it. I think they just fixed it. Well, we'll see because it's down, not up. Now it looks like it's fixed. Okay, that's crazy. Right in front of my face. Um, so let's go to Discovery Financial Services, right? So Capital One is looking to acquire them. Okay, so that's going to raise that stock, and it's going to be downwards for Capital One, right? So top on the list out, Discovery Financial Services. All right, JetBlue. Believe they got an upgrade, and I saw something about Carl Icahn moved up in a seat. Um, Let me just JetBlue. Let's see. Carl Icahn wins board seats following his stake, according to CNBC. Announces dividend approval and buyback program. So JetBlue is up. All right, this is that stock ticker SUN. That's what Nvidia posted. No, well, they didn't post it, but they said that they have, I guess, stake or they're working with them, something like that. Okay, so they're up. Medtronic reported earnings. They beat. They're up. Look at Supermicro computers. They're back up, right? Like $25. Now that stock moves like that, so they're back up. People are buying that dip. Intel, AstraZeneca, I believe that's Southwest. So airlines, got the Bitcoin ETF, MicroStrategies. That's what's going on, right? That's the positives. Not a lot. Now the negatives, as they finally fixed ARM in front of my face, you got Roku down 5% pre-market. There's ARM, finally fixed it. It is down 3.93%. Okay. MasterCard. So Visa and MasterCard, I'm trying to figure out why they're both down. And there's Capital One, down 3.2%. Palantir, Trade Desk, Carvana. Carvana just got I want to say a downgrade. Affirm, Adobe. Adobe got a downgrade. Enphase. Lowe's is in sympathy with Home Depot. They're down. They believe this is AA. Why am I drawing a blank on what AA is? It doesn't matter. Cloudflare, Shop, Datadog. All right, those are the down ones. Okay, but Roku's getting hit pretty hard. Let's go back to the top sector stocks. And we'll move on to sectors. And there'll be no surprise here after I just talked that you have healthcare is the only leader, and it's not much, 0.03. Then we got technology. That's the largest sector in the S&P, down 0.31. Communications, down 0.33. Financials, down 0.45. Okay, that's going to be your Visa, your MasterCard. Okay, Um, Discretionary, that's your Home Depot, your Tesla, your Amazon, and semis. I think we know who they are. Nvidia's, AMD's, Qualcomm's. So that is what's going on with the watch lists. Okay. Now, as far as big data coming out this week, besides Nvidia, there's not much. There's not much. We'll look at market news. Let's look at that right now. All right. So we don't have much on tap for today. I could see a couple bond auctions. Okay, for today. But there's a lot of Fed speak this week. So tomorrow, Bostic, Bowman. Then we got FOMC minutes. Okay, 2 p.m. That's usually a little bit of a market mover. Okay, Thursday, what do we have? Chicago Fed, industrial jobless claims, S&P Global Composite, existing home sales. Then we got more Fed speak, crude inventory. Okay, more Fed speak. A lot of Fed speak, right? And that's really all for that, right? But really, what everybody's waiting for is earnings, right? So after the close yesterday, I mean, it wasn't really much of a close because the market was closed. Nothing really to talk about there. But today, we had Walmart report earnings, okay? So that's why they're up. Not only are they acquiring Vizio, but they had earnings, okay? So they're up because of that. Let me change my list real quick because I put it. All right. Home Depot missed, right? Medtronic beat. I don't really see what Barclays and the rest did, but what do we got after the close today? That's important, right? Palo Alto, Teladoc, Caesars, okay, Toll Brothers, Medifast, all right? Now, one I've been having an eye on, okay, personally, I've actually talked about this with my friend Rosita. Vertiv, VRT, okay, that is a stock that I do have my eyes on. And if it wasn't earnings, I probably would have nibbled a little bit. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Financial advisors do not follow my advice. Okay, it's not advice. This is just what I'm looking at. I didn't do anything, so basically, they are an electrical equipment company. They do power supplies and cooling for servers. So do what you may with that information. What I told you. Okay, so really interested in that. So we got that Wix, HSBC. All right, now after the close tomorrow, Nvidia, Rivian, Etsy, Lucid, Dutch Bros. All right, Marathon Oil. Before the open on Thursday, Moderna, Nikola, Wayfair, Pioneer Natural Resources. All right, and then on Thursday after the close, you have Block, Carvana, Bookings Holdings, Intuit. That's about all what I would say there. And then on Friday before the open, Warner Brothers, Lamar. What else we got? That's really all. So earnings and still full swing here, but Nvidia, what are they gonna do, right? It's more or less like I think that Nvidia will probably have good earnings, but it's the matter of guidance and you know what does the market do with it? I don't know. There's a lot of euphoric energy around that stock. Okay, so a couple things here. Let's see here. What was in the news? Gapping up. We already talked about Medtronic. Just trying to see Vizio. Vizio's way up because Walmart's are acquiring it. 15% they're up. JetBlue, we talked about the Carl Icon. AstraZeneca, looks like Tagrisso, the addition of chemotherapy approved in the U.S. for patients with EGFR mutated advanced lung cancer. They're up. Looks like Southwest Airlines upgraded to a buy. they're up. All right. As far as down, we have Home Depot. Like I said, they got bad earnings. Capital One, they're acquiring Discovery Financial Services. Um, what else here? That's to note. That's to note. Cat downgraded. We already talked about that. Paired its losses. Tesla's downgraded. Airbnb downgraded. Talked about that. Um, I think that's really it that I really want to get into. There's not much on the juice here that I'm seeing that I did see China reduce the major mortgage reference rate by a record amount, indicating that the country was increasing support for the housing sector in an effort to boost demand. I did notice that for China. Just trying to see if there's anything to note. Mm, I don't really think anything to note to really talk about here. Um, Probably going to get into the daily charts. Okay, let's do that. Move right over here. And let's look at the SPY. We'll zoom up, zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so what we do on Friday? Friday, we broke highs. Came up here. Whoop. Looked like everything was okay after PPI. And then we closed it down here. Okay, so you had like a not an inside day, but like definitely a reversal, right? Looked like the market was going to ignore the hot PPI, and then at the end of the day, closed. You actually had a red week in the weeklies for the first time in a little bit. So now, looking at this chart, you can see that was last week's highs, the previous week's highs, that it couldn't close over, okay? And previous week's lows was all the way down here. So, kind of stayed, right? You can see the previous week's highs and lows, like I said, couldn't break it. And we closed within the previous week's range, okay? Now, what are we doing today? We're at 497.75. We are 497.70 right here at this trend line. All right, right here at the 90 MA daily. That's where we're gapping down right now. So we're gapping down. So very interesting that we're gapping down. Now you have these 2 days here that we're gapping under. So if you are a buyer in here, you're probably sweating a little bit that we're gapping lower. So interesting to see what happens here. Okay. Now as far as the Qs, now look, you can see the Qs were weaker. Okay, as far as the weeklies, right? Here's the previous week's highs, previous week's lows, and the Qs couldn't break Thursday's highs. See? And then it came all the way down to the previous month's highs. So basically it came right down to last month's highs. That's the white. Okay. Closed right there, broke Thursday's lows. All right, broke the 90-man daily. And where are we at now? We're at 428.73, 428.73. So you're gapping down, okay? You're basically at the lows of this candle here. I think that's Wednesday's candle, the Wednesday's lows. So you're gapping down, okay? So it'll be very interesting to see what this gap means, okay? Or what happens when we're gapping lower below these 3 candles. You know, do we get follow through? I don't know. Sellers have not had an easy time in this market. But the VIX is raised. We just have to see. what's going to happen here. Okay, we really just have to see. Now, as far as the triple-headed monster, let's look at that. The 10-year yield right now is down 4.27 yields, down to 0.51. Let's look at that bond market. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. We did go above the 200-day moving average. Now we're in this little range again. So it looks like you move up, you move down, you moved up, broke out. Now we're holding this range, right? And looks like resistance right here is at like 4.3, 4.32. Okay, it's also the 100-day moving average. So again, the bond market is moving higher. I mean, the yields are moving higher. Okay, that should usually put weight on tech stocks. All right, especially the Russell. So it's who's going to win here. Is this smart money betting on the market to go down a little bit, right? Bond market usually is smart money, so we have to see. It's yet to see, but we do have some fear building in the VIX. Okay, we did have a big spike with CPI, but look, push down. Now we're back up over 15. Okay, 15 means you're up over the 200-day moving average in the VIX. Okay, and the 100-day. So, once you pop over, if we can hold over 15, 16, that's more fear, right? That's more people hedging their bets, right? So that's the VIX, just to keep in mind. VIX is 30 days out of fear. That's what that's gauging. Okay. Now, dollar. Okay, dollar's got some weakness. 4 days. 4 black or red candles, you want to call them. Okay, come right back down to this support level around 104. All right, if that breaks, that should be interesting. If the dollar breaks down lower, usually the dollar and the yields follow each other. You can see that we've hit a bottom and we've been rising, right? That's what the yields have been doing. But the dollar today, if it can break this 103, that should be good for gold, commodities, and generally the stocks, right? Equities. So that's really the review of the triple-headed monster. We can get right into the structure with the market profile. Now we got kind of a weird sessions here because after Friday's close, you have an overnight session that starts right at, like, for me, I make it start right at 4:15, and that's that little session from Friday and Sunday, and then you had a little session, little tiny baby session yesterday, right? So what I usually like to do is combine them, merge them into one, because it looks weird. Okay, but right now let's look at this. Okay, if I want to look at structure, all right, we're going to look at structure together, because that's really what it's all about, is why I look at this. I want to see what's structure telling me. So here's our little double distribution profile for the week. Okay, most traded price of the week is 50.24. All right, where's price? 5,000 down here. Okay, so for like the immediate term, this is right now, bears, sellers are in control. Okay, you're below the most traded price of the week. Okay, this was the most traded price of Friday. You're below that. Okay, week to day VWAP started. It's red. You're below that. Okay, now if you want to go by the month, your monthly VWAP is right here. It's green because for the month, a green VWAP tells you for the month buyers are in control. But price is here, and the monthly VWAP is at 49.89. Okay. So overall, that's why I like using the monthly VWAP as well, because it kind of tells you, all right, for the month, buyers are in control. For this week that just started, sellers are in control. Okay. So that's how we look at that. Right now, what are we going to look at now? We're going to look at how's the inventory shaping for the overnight. So overnight open here. You only have like that much long activity to this much short activity. The most traded price is at the lows. Okay, so those are shorts. All right, now this is key because we're gapping lower. I don't care about these sessions. This Friday's low is the gap I'm looking at. So that's the gap fill. We are gapping down. Okay, we are gapping down though into demand and the monthly VWAP. That should not be easy to just cut through. Okay, so keep in mind of that. Okay, so but okay, actually, like I said, buyers are in control for the month. This still is a buyer's market. By no means this is a seller's market. Okay, structure wise, I said sellers immediately in the immediate term have a little bit of the upper hand, but overall buyers are still the big boys. Okay, so this kind of sets up possibly for a nice fade, meaning a reversal. Now I've talked about this before, and I don't know who understands what I mean, but sometimes you take care of old business before new business. What that means is, okay, is let's say if we look at this chart, and let's just say we know sellers got paid from the highs here, right? And they closed. Never threatened, never threatened. Sellers still in control. Now guess what happens? We open up and sellers getting paid again. Okay? So we know sellers are getting paid. But what's underneath us? You have demand. You have monthly VWAP. Okay? And what I mean by let's take care of old business before new business is old business is all the shorts lined up in here. If you get a little push into monthly VWAP and you start making lower highs, okay, what do you think is going to happen? And you cross this most traded price of the overnight, which is shorts. You're gonna get a reflexive bounce up, at least probably to the most traded price of the week. Because psychologically, what are sellers going to do? Uh-oh, here we go, buying a dip again. Okay? Now, that's just a scenario. I don't know if that happens, but it's probable. Okay? Dips get bought. Semis right around are a little weak, right? They're pulling back. What's the momentum in? Tech, semis. Every sign of weakness, every dip in those stocks are looked at buying opportunities until they're not. But right now, that hasn't really changed. Okay? All right, so let's look at this together. All right, and let's build something here, okay, that we can lean into. So right now, I'm really liking what I just talked to you about. All right, so let's go into an ES scenario. Okay? Let's go into an ES scenario. And we're going to start with the bull scenario. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do, just so it looks not a little more pleasing to the eye here, is I'm merging. All right? I just merged those profiles. I just want to see it like as if it's one big overnight session. Okay? Now, we're down here, right? I said we're overnight 100% net short. We're at the lows. Okay? Most traded price of the overnight's right here. So, like I said, overall, the bulls. I want to be a bull. I want to go with the bulls more than I do with the bears. That's just, it's plain to see. Okay? Until the sellers really get a foothold, I want to be on the long side. So for in this scenario, okay, it's beautiful. It's working out beautifully right now because we're at the lows. We'll trade a price of the overnights here. What I would love to see is a push down, test this monthly VWAP and demand. So you're going to be in demand in a monthly VWAP. Bounce off, get those sellers thinking that it's going to go lower. Who doesn't know that the monthly VWAP's there? Who doesn't know there's demand there? Get them trapped. Lower high, push through this overnight. You're going to go sell, fill the gap here. That should get you a little bit of resistance, but then if you can push higher, you go right up to that most traded price of the week, which is 50.24. Possibly go to the most traded price of Friday. Okay. Do I say that's easy? No. But like I explained, shorts have been getting paid. Okay. Now, if you're a bear, okay, I'm actually going to break this out. I'm just going to break it out. That's okay. Okay, if you're a bear, now what's happening right now is see what happens. My scenario is playing out now. See, so look, we're already crossed the most traded price of we were down here before. Now, if these guys get taken out, you're gonna see this price run up. Okay. I want to see it hold, but obviously, if it doesn't, then it doesn't. So if you are bearish, right? What I would like to see, push down, you get that push back up into the most traded price of the week, what happens to be supply zone as well. Okay, so if you cannot cross this, you're going to roll over. And you're going to test this overnight lows and maybe monthly VWAP. Okay? That's what I would really only be interested in, right? Because if you defend the most traded price of the week and the most traded price of Friday, you have a good shot because then you have all longs from here. You could take them out. Okay. We can move on to the Qs and see how that's shaping up, right? Because we do have a gap down, and we're about to fill the gap pretty soon in the ES. Like this plan is already coming out. I don't like that. Obviously, I want to see it down here, but what are you gonna do? Can't do anything. Can't control anything in these markets. Okay, so I'm gonna unmerge these. Okay. This is the NASDAQ. Okay, now NASDAQ has something interesting happening in it. Okay. Profile is very balanced. You got excess at the top, you got a value area, and you have excess at the bottom. That's a very balanced market. Okay. Now, price is right here. 17,690. But it happens to be at a very congested area. Okay, I don't really like where the NASDAQ is. Okay, why do I say that? Well, this is the most traded price of the year, 17,700. Price is right there. What's above that? The most traded price of the month. And what's above that? The most traded price of the week. So this area here, it's been the most traded price all year. Okay, so if we stay here, it's a chop fest in there. Now, what also that means is we can coil there. If we can coil there and stay in this area for this week for Nvidia's earnings, for FOMC minutes, we should get an explosive move higher or lower. All right, the ES, the SPY is not doing this. Okay, the levels aren't like all stacked like this. They're not. They're not stacked like this. Okay. Now, the one other key thing also is This is monthly VWAP. Look, it's red. That means for this month, right now, sellers are in control. The week-to-date VWAP is red as well. But that, I mean, the week just started. I don't put much weight. But see the big difference, right? The Qs are under the monthly VWAP. Sellers are in control. However, we're just in a chop fest area. Okay. Now, same thing here. We're 100% net short in the Qs. 100% net short. I just don't like it because of this area. That's a traffic jam. That's a traffic jam. Now, when we move out of this area, you should get a big move. Okay, but when you're in it, ugh, I don't like it. Okay, I don't really like it at all. So, but you do have, obviously, you could trade this. It's just I don't like where we're at. All right, what this is telling me for the Qs is we're waiting for Nvidia's earnings. That's what this is telling me. Okay. All right, so if we go to the NQ scenarios, okay. Now there's a couple nuance here that definitely you have to take the note. All right, one thing here is you have a weak high here. So the overnight high, most traded price of the month of the week, and you have these little highs here. Okay, if we come up and break that, we could possibly go up here. Okay, but that's breaking out of this. That's these big these major levels, right? So it kind of goes what I'm saying before. Okay, but just in here, it's like such a traffic jam. Okay, so same scenario, I would say, in the Nasdaq. Actually, like I said, I'm not a fan as much because of all this congestion. But look what we could do here. If we could push down into this demand zone here, right? Got a demand zone here, and you got another demand zone here. Okay, you can get some higher lows and try to push through this muck. Right? It's gonna not be easy, but if you do, if it makes it easy, that's even more bullish. And break out of this weak high, you can go straight up. Okay? Straight up. Right here, though, is that key breakout level around 17,800. Okay? Like I said, it's not a favorite trade of mine because of the way it's structured. Okay, now, if you're bearish, okay, you do have supply here, and you do have this most traded price of the week and the month right here in supply zone here. So that's really all you have to see. This area that could be a breakout for the bulls, if the market cannot push through it, well then you have a nice chance to go follow through, hit the overnight lows, right, and get some follow through. You got single prints underneath you, and you don't have much. Like I said, I don't know if that's in the cards. Yeah, your move really could just end here. But that's really all I'm seeing. Okay. Now, yes, you're gapping. You're gapping lower here, because right here, right? Now, of course, that gap fill can always be a rollover point. But it's kind of weird because you have these other sessions, right? You know, in the SPY and the QQQ, it's not weird because the market was closed yesterday. So, but in futures, there always is some trading activity. Okay, so like I said, I like the ES better, but it's getting bought up right now. So let's look at the ES one last time to see where it's at, because what I was saying earlier. Okay, that's good. Okay, the buying has kind of sellers kind of took it again. Okay, so this is the most traded price. Before it came up here, I like this. I wanted to push down. Push down, monthly VWAP, and hopefully we can get back up to here. That's what I would. That's the best case scenario for what I'd like to see. So I want to see this hold down here and push down. Okay. So I really like the ES scenario, and that's going to be it for me. Okay. If you can, subscribe, set an alert. Okay. Today I went a little longer. I don't have to take my daughter to the bus. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for anybody who is listening or watching. So please give me a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. And if you have any comments, questions, please leave a comment. I would answer it. And you can follow me on X at Gonzo719. Okay, so ES, the fade, reversal, is something I'm really looking at. Okay, I gotta be patient with it though, because you want to wait for that excess to get put in so you can like have some risk to set your risk. So that's what I'm going to be waiting for, and hopefully we can review that if that comes at fruition tomorrow. All right. So I wish everybody good trading, stay green, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.